Wagwa. Right, I've drawn 2 vertical lines across here, right, and I think you'll agree that they actually look really nice. Now, what I've got here on my brush is some nice moist council pop, and I'm just wetting this paper about like that. Right, cerulean blue with a lot of water in it. It's dripping, don't matter, don't worry about that dripping. Where it drips, not rotting now. So that's cerulean blue. So I can zip it down, it's not going to matter. Alright, that's that. And then I think what I might do is add a slight stronger cerulean blue to that, just in a few places. There we are, that's that. Then let me have a look. Let's have some of this one. This is just blue and a bit of muck out bottom of my palette, to be honest, but blue and Payne's grey will get you the same effect. This is same again, but it's a slightly different colour to the other one. I think this one's probably slightly stronger, but it's same again. It is just blue and a bit of mud out my palette. Take that there, I think. Right, now, same again. This is mud out my palette, but I think the best way to get this one is to just use some Payne's grey. I think what I'll do now, just swill everything about. So all I'm doing now is just spinning it round, swilling it all about. You see it all swilling. Then swill it that way and that way. And that way. It's that way. I'll get it upside down. Some of these clouds. Looking a little bit strong. So maybe I'll just soften them a bit with this cloth. That's it. Get that on there, look. Soften them a bit. Oh, that one does. And the cloth's disintegrating a bit, look. But it's making a good effect, so not going to worry. Got quite a few different colours in there at that. Oh, I like that. I'm happy at that. Really like that. Right, I'm going to get it dry. Oh, let me just get a sip of coffee. Right, now then, is it dry enough? Yeah, I think so. Right, so I'm going to pop in now a really distant mountain in there. So get what colour shall I use? Let's use that one. In fact, I'll use a few different colours. So, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring it upside down for a start, and then get this horizon line across bottom of here. That'll help me. I can get that in. Might as well come all the way across with it, really. That's it. In fact, some of the top of that line looks quite good to me. So I'll probably stick with some of that. There we are. No, I'll bring it up a bit higher. There, that's nice. So this is a light paint. And then it seems to come up really at an eye point about there. So I'll just do that. And then the rest of that doesn't matter because it's going to come down through into there anyway. So again, I just want to get this that bottom bit right to horizon line. That's better. Right, that's that. I'm just swirling about a bit. I think I'll dry it like that. That lamp. That's that. I'll have to put the water in next. Yeah, let's put my water in next. So I think for my water I'm going to go for a slightly bluier colour. See what that looks like. And just pop my water in. And that goes right through there, through that line, down here somewhere, and then into this line here. This just comes all the way through everything. There. Gotta be careful because I don't know if you can see this cartridge paper, what's the cheapest of the cheap, but that's why I like it, because it's dead cheap, but it is disintegrating a bit there. I think it might be enough. I think I'm going to dry it and then I don't know, I'd like to glaze over it with a bit of grey colour, but I don't know if I can. I'm going to try it without drying it, just try and glaze a bit in this grey colour. So let's try it. So it's just Payne's grey now, and I'm just glazing into that with a bit of Payne's. I say glazing, this is still wet, so it's not really a glaze. It's just going to blend in. Tiny bit more. I'll just keep adding more and more Payne's grey. Oh, that's better. That's more what I'm looking for. About like that. that'll do me. I'm going to dry that. Just going to dab these wet bits. Alright, dry again. Perfect. Right, I need more coffee now. Let's sip of coffee. Oh, lovely. Right. Right. So now, I think what I'm going to get now, I think I'm going to use the Payne's Grey. I've got Payne's Grey on my brush and it's pretty thin. Don't know how to spin this upside down and grab this horizon line, because my horizon line, what I've got, I put sort of 2 horizon lines on, and this second one's for, it's disappearing for a start, and I want it for this hill. So let's bring it to about there, like that. That's it, that's just so I can keep seeing it, because it's disappearing. That'll do me. And it does sort of come up here. Up. In fact, it comes right up. Comes up here. It sort of slopes its way back down. There's a bit of a crevice thing there, and a bit up there like that. Nice, right. I'm going to add in now a bit, so I'll try a bit of green. Bit more yellow into that. Try and go fast because I keep getting little lines, grooves left in here, what I didn't particularly want. So if you go faster, you'll not get that. Although if you're on a half decent paper, you'll not really get that. This paper soaks in the colour so fast. So something like that. Still quite a distance away, that is. Now. Right, let me get some more thicker paint on here. I think I'm going to bring it in a tiny bit closer. I'll do that by just thickening my paint up a bit. So, some yellow in here. Oh. This yellow's nice. I'm not copying, on my photo, there's bits of yellow in there, right? I'm not copying it. It's exactly where it is. I'm just popping a bit in. What I'm trying to say is it ain't got to be exact. So like here, I'm just popping in bits and bobs. I'm going to leave some of this thin colour, but blend in some thick colour as well. Somewhere like there. Just sort of have a bit of both. I think on this edge here, I'll have a bit of that thin colour. That's it. I'm going to flip it upside down again for a second. And I'm going to get that bottom piece in. It's just easier to do that upside down. That's better. That's nice. Flip it back again. And then I think what I'll do now, soften that in. This has got a bit of blue in this, what'll mix nice with that yellow. Just softening it all back in. Don't particularly want them hard lines in it. There, I'm happy at that. So that's that done. Right. Let's give that a dry and all. I don't want it running so that'll do, that's dry enough. Right, now then. Right, we're coming in closer now. So, let me have some coffee. Oh, nearly drunk it all. I think, where's my spiky brush? I'm going to swap to the spiky brush now. Did have a little one somewhere. Here she is. I'll use this little. I could use my big one actually, but I'm decided I'm going to use this little one. Right. There's a bush here. Let's get that in. So just test that. Yeah. So I've just got Payne's Grey on this, really. Just go inside a brush. If you haven't got one of these spiky brushes, just dry out your height brush, hacky brush, whatever you call it. Dry it out. I've decided I've just scraped into Bontumber with that. Bontumber. Although it's still looking totally black. Yeah. What were I on about? Oh yeah. Dry your hacky brush out, or your height brush. Dry it totally out. Bash all the end up. And it works like a spiky brush. Once the end of that brush is dry, the bristles go stiff like this. So you get a good effect anyway. Right, so that's that. Coming into some more. Rubbing into some Bontumber, so this will go a bit more brown. Start about there. Across here, and it comes out. Like that. That's it. It's a bit less as it comes around here. Dipping back into paint. Just building that middle bit a bit more. Oh, that's perfect. Right, so that's that. Right. Where's me? Here she is. My rigger brush. That's the long thin one. Payne's Grey and Bontumber mix. Nice smooth paint, but plenty of paint on my brush. I'll just do. So there's loads of stuff coming out across here like this. This is that much stuff going on in here. I probably won't even bother trying to connect all this up. I'm just sort of going for it. I'm just putting twigs in anyway. I'm not trying to particularly follow out. Not particularly trying to follow through. If you know what I mean, I'm just. Let me get some more paint on there. I'm just sort of going anywhere with this. there's that many twigs and stuff. You haven't got to mess about trying to. Sometimes I'll go from there and I'll follow that one across like that, and that one does follow across, look. But today, look, if you notice, I'm just sticking out in random. That's enough, I'm getting carried away. But yeah, it says that's enough, then it sticks a few more in. But that is enough. Right, so let's leave that. You can easily ruin a good effect by getting carried away. Having said that, some of these are disappearing already, so I'm going to go over a few bits. Some of them's like just disappearing into the black, so you can't see it very good, so we'll stick a few more in. There, that's better. Right, what's that? Done with that now, I think. Now then, let's get back to the brush, right? So, I think now, don't know what colour's on this brush. Let's have a look. I'm not even going to bother washing it. I'm going to do a dip straight into my yellow. And I'll tell you what, I'll just stick a load of yellow in. Just mixing up some yellow. Plenty on it. Stick some yellow in, so my grassy effect sort of comes. It's everywhere really, isn't it? It's across here. Sort of comes sort of down here, and it changes into a bit more of a rocky effect on that side. Something like that. Right, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn this yellow into a nice creamy colour. I've done that by just adding some red, and in fact I've added a bit of Chinese white and all. I'll stick that in there. So I've added a bit of red, a bit of Chinese white, and I've come up with this creamy colour. And I'll stick a load of that in there. Blend this all in everywhere. Go quick as I can, really. Quick as I can. And then I want to get some. I'm going to go now into Bontumber. I've not washed my brush. Just gone into Bontumber. Because I want to get in here. That's good. I want to get some darks in here. In fact, that's nowhere near dark enough. Right, I'm into some Payne's Grey and Bontumber now. Try that. I just want some few dark bits in there. That's it. I'll tell you what, let's take that same colour and go straight into my yellow. And get some really dark yellows and all around here, just a few just to blend in. So I've got some dark bits in there, that's always going to help. That. That's that. Squeeze that right into my green, that'll mix a nice green up. Right, what do I need now? Let's mix some green up then. So, get a bit of cerulean blue into my yellow. Oh, that's a bright green. That looks dead good. So, in with this bright green. Just sort of dabbling in here, there and anywhere. There's a bright green in there. Oh, wow, that's all looking nice. That's that now. In here, I'm going to get some of this. A lot of this just in this bit here. That's it, that'll do me. Just a lot of long stuff in there. So I'll whack that in. Just long grasses, that's that sound. Right. Now, blend straight in over to this side now, so there's still that green on my brush. I'm going to blend into this while it's wet. Hopefully it'll all soften in. So I can even do a bit of that really. And let it soften in. Bit of that one. I can have some of them greens coming into there, some of them blacks going into the other bit. Right, I think what I'll do now, drag some Burnt Umber in it just to vary it. Don't think there even is any Burnt Umber in the picture. This is just to vary it. I need a fat paint and that. Right, let me really scrub my brush into this Burnt Umber. Get a fatter paint on there. That's more like it. There we are. Back into Payne's Grey. That's better. More Payne's Grey. That's it. You know what I might do, just to try and get it to blend good? Let's get a load of that cerulean blue. I've not washed my brush. Well, perhaps I should have done. See what happens. Really scrubbing into my cerulean blue. Because I am our paint dry, and I'll just re-wet it, see what that looks like. Especially in these bits here where it's softening in. A few blues in there. Yeah, that's cerulean blue. I'll just blend a few bits of that in there, just to keep it interesting. There we are, that looks nice. I'll have a few bits in, blending around there and all, and that's just going to help keep it harmonious. Right, now then, these are all rocks, so I'll put some rocky bits in. Any bits here probably sort of climbing up that way a bit. Switch to this one, just to get a few different shapes. I think that'll do me. Just showing the impression of a few rocks in there. Some in there as it climbs up. There's a few little tiny grasses and stuff. Something like that. Right. I think I'll just dry that now. I'm just looking at it. On my photo there's no reflection on here, but I think it'd look better with a bit of a reflection, so squeeze this brush out. I think I might pop a little bit of a reflection in there, just a little bit of something. I think I'll just use Payne's Grey and a bit of Burnt Umber. I should do it, in fact I might. No. So I've got a really weak wash here. think I'll dab in some water, just wash it back a bit, that'll make it even weaker. And I think that's probably enough. That. Right, just in here, I'll just build that bit up a little bit. So I've got some sort of muddy green out of my palette, just there. I'll just get a bit of that in there. That's it. I don't think there's really any shadows in here because it's that sort of grubby. There's nothing there. Right, I'll just give that brush a wash. Just soften that in. There we are. What's that? That. Right, other thing I was going to do, let's get some Watercolour and some yellow, mix up a nice creamy colour. That's perfect. I've got Watercolour and yellow here, and I'm just going to pop in a few extra of these. There we are. A bit darker, a bit of Watercolour and Payne's Grey, just for a couple of them. What's that? Right, this bit here, still got some of this black on here. I'm still not happy with that bit, so Watercolour and Payne's Grey, stuck a bit of that in, just to blend it in a bit. That's it. That's better. I like that better. Right, I might chuck in a couple of little boats. Right, I need to dry this a little bit. I want to soften that in a bit, really. Just going to soften this in a little bit. Just want that to be a little bit softer. Don't know if that's worked at all, to be honest. Right. Now I've got to be careful this. I'll go where it's dry when it boats. So, in fact, let's give that another dry. Better. Right, we'll get some designer's white couch. I think there's a load just spilt outside of my tube, so I'll mix some of that. I'm just getting it off site. It's all spilt outside of my tube, so I've not even took the lid off. Just getting it off here where it's all spilt. Got it all over my hands yesterday. Designer's white couch, or you can rub your paper, dab it with a bit of cloth and rub back to the white of your paper. But for me, on this paper, that technique don't work very well, just because I end up, this paper's cheap and I'll end up with an hole in my paper. So this is quite far away, so I think I'll make them sailing boats about that big, so that makes that bigger sort of thing. But I always put two in, so today, to be different, I'm just going to put one in. This is where I need my reading glasses on, really. Just going to have one in today. That's that one there, and then a little bit of reflection there. A bit more, I think I need. That's it. Put a tiny bit more in. That's better, I've got more paint on my brush now. You're best putting a bit more than what you want with this, because it dries light. Right, that's that. That looks cool. Get me tiny little brush. Get some black mix. Payne's grey this is. Right, where shall I have them? Peter and Paul. Let's have them just up here, look. There's Peter. There's Paul. They're just flying around looking for a few worms. Where shall I put my signature? Let's pop it. I wonder if you'll see it. That put it there. B. D stands for Birdie D. Birdie D. Let me just stand back and have a look. Let's sit back and have a look. Yeah, quite like that. It's quite a simple one. Quite nice. There you are. Could pop in. Tell you what, let's do it. Could pop in a little bit of a waterline in there, just a little bit. While I've got this white on me brush, a little bit of a waterline in there, tiny little bit, look. A bit more white paint on my brush, tiny little bit. Just where it water's hitting up against the shore. A little bit there and all. I think back here it would be quite thin. I don't think you'd hardly see it back there. That'll do. So that's enough for that, I think. There. That's it. Got a bit of free dimension with your thin cold colours at the back, then they get warmer when it's darker and the green in. Then this gets quite dark here, the darker colours here where it's close up, and the warmer colours gives you that three-dimensional look. Creates the hallucination of depth. Right, I'm going to get some more coffee and some egg on toast for my brekkie. Wah wah, see you tomorrow.